Chapter 6, Dory Dory Black Sheep by Abby Hanlon. Welcome back to Dory Fantasmagory-Dory Dory Black Sheep by Abby Hanlon. We are on to Chapter 6, Little Robber. The first thing Violet says to me when she hears that I lost my clothes is, "Let me guess. Miss Gobble Gracker took them." "Yep," I say, "she traded them for a frog." I think that's what happened. Then Luke and Violet start to tease me about my costume. They say that I have a wedgie. They laugh so hard they can't get up from the floor. I don't know what a wedgie is, but I can tell it is something to do with my butt. This makes me stop feeling like a superhero. I have to sit down so that Luke and Violet can't keep seeing my butt. I won't get up from the dinner table until I'm sure it's safe. "Aren't you done?" "Mom said you could be excused." She doesn't want to get up because it's something about that wedgie. "Rascal, can you just let me help you take off that costume? Or are you going to make a super big deal out of it?" calls my mom from the living room. I don't like either choice, so I don't answer. Instead, I wait and wait and wait. From the living room, my mom says, "We should really read together tonight. Remember, 20 minutes. That's the last thing she says before she closes her eyes. And look at Mom. Mom is tired. When I'm sure she's asleep and the house is quiet, I sneak upstairs to my room. Look at her face. "Presenting Captain Puff," I say, making the grand entrance I had been planning, and then I fly to the top of my dresser. Uh-oh, is that safe? "Look at..." "Wow," says Mary. "How did you become Captain Puff?" "Because I had the best play date ever," I say. "I had a play date too," says Mary. "How?" I ask. "Gigi came over," she says. "Gigi?" I jumped down from my dresser. "Did you say Gigi?" "She rang the doorbell," says Mary. "And you let her in?" "She said she wanted to play." "What did you play?" I ask. "Well, first she said she wanted to make coffee, so we did that." "Yeah, and then?" "She drank a lot of coffee." "A lot." "Okay, so she got really hyper." "What does that mean exactly?" I ask. "Well, her eyes kind of bugged out and she started talking really fast and running around and touching everything. She banged into a lot of things and then she started doing cartwheels, although she's horrible at them. She couldn't even get her legs up, and then she banged on the piano and sang songs I've never heard of. I think she made them up. They were pretty weird. All night long, I looked for my socks, blood and bones, socks and meat. We think we're stupid, but we're really smart. Do you remember that slippery tomato? Chicken clop. Neither did I. And then she found a huge amount of Post-its in the kitchen drawer, and she ran around and stuck them all over the house, in every room, on the windows, the walls, the furniture, and on the phone, everywhere. And then she asked for a snack, but she was really picky about it. Everything I offered her. There's all those sticky notes. She said she wanted soup, and I said, "We don't have any soup right now." And then she threw a big fit. But in the middle of her fit, she got distracted by some crumbs on the kitchen floor, and she started playing with them and talking to them in this very high baby voice. And then all of a sudden, she ran upstairs to go to the bathroom. She was gone so long, I thought she fell in the toilet. But when I came upstairs to look for her, she was gone. Your bedroom window was open. She must have climbed down the side of the house. I guess that's how she likes to leave. "Where are the Post-its?" I ask. "I cleaned them all up," says Mary, smiling proudly. "Wow, Mrs. Gobble Gracker is really a bonkers kid. What do you think?" I asked. "It was so fun. I loved it," said Mary. "I loved it. Can she come back tomorrow? Pretty please, with the chair on top?" "It's cherry," I say. "I already invited her," says Mary. And then I remember Goblin. I jump up and open the closet. The closet is empty. Do you remember who Goblin is? The little black sheep. They're looking inside for him, not there. Where's Goblin? I asked Mary. I didn't take him out, she says. I promise. Then where did he go? I have no idea, says Mary. It was Gigi, I say, that sheep stealer. I bet she snuck him out of the window. I was right. Never trust a Gobble Gracker. There she is. That's Gigi. That's Mrs. Gobble Gracker when she's young, stealing. Goblin. The next morning at school, I tell Rosabelle and George the news. Gigi came to my house, went into my room, and stole my pet sheep. That little thief, says Rosabelle. She's going to put pants on him, says George. Pants, said Rosabelle. Who cares about pants? She could be making lamb stew out of him. What do? I ask them. This is your chance, Rascal, says Rosabelle, You have to use your superhero powers to battle Gigi and save your sheep, she says. Oh, if only you still had Captain Puff costume. If you still had the Captain Puff costume, that would be perfect. Look, I say, and I unbutton my shirt so they can see. My mom fell asleep and forgot about it. Rosabelle gasped. You're a genius. That looks really uncomfortable, says George. That afternoon, George can't wait to battle Gigi. He keeps raising his hand and asking if it's quiet reading time yet, and the teacher keeps looking over at the pencil sharpener nervously. Remember when he tried to pencil sharpen his finger? When it's finally reading time, George opens his book and says, Captain Puff, you fly over the barn and grab the sheep. I'll do my karate moves on Gigi. Hi-ya! There's Captain Puff. There's George. There's Gigi. Just as I reach Goblin, I hear a voice. Dory, can you read out loud for me for a few minutes? Asked my teacher. Uh-oh. Dory, are you there? I feel a hand on my shoulder. I'd love to hear you read, says the teacher, who pulls up a chair next to me. Okay. Has she practiced? When I read, the words get all crooked up. The words don't make a story. It's the opposite of a story. As I'm reading, I'm getting hotter and hotter, and my Captain Puff costume feels tighter and tighter underneath my clothes. The teacher writes a whole page in her notebook. Then she pats me on the back and says, keep practicing. You'll get there, honey. When the teacher's gone, I'm quiet. I don't want to play anymore. You play without me, I tell George. But what are you going to do, George asks. Read? Yes, I say in a voice so quiet he can't hear me. That night after dinner, just before bed, the doorbell rings. I look out the window and I see Gigi standing on the stoop. I take off my nightgown. I'm still Captain Puff underneath. Hi, is Mary home? Asked Gigi when I open the door. You little robber! You stole my sheep, I say. I know. It was so fun. I was so sneaky, nobody saw me. With my super strength, I pick up Gigi. Give me back my sheep or I'll fly you straight out of the universe and leave you there. That sounds kind of fun, Gigi says. She says, oh my goodness, Captain Puff. So with my super speed, off we go. Yippee! Woo-wee! Last chance, I tell her. And at the same time, they both say, Goblin? He followed them. Goblin walks right past us. Where is he going? Asked Gigi. Look, I whisper. Is that his family? Are those white sheep? It can't be, says Gigi. And when we see how much they love him, we know it is. This is where he belongs. Oh, phooey, says Gigi and kicks some space dust. Goodbye. Aw, he found his family. Can I have a ride back? Asked Gigi. I could just leave her here, but surrounded by the huge blackness of the universe, I notice how little she is, maybe even smaller than me. Yeah, fine, I grumble. That was super weird, said Gigi, sitting on my stoop. See, they fly back. Yeah, Goblin was really lost, huh? He's from another planet, said Gigi. I'll miss him, I say. I sit down next to her. He was the greatest sheep I ever stole, says Gigi. The sky is dark. The stars are out. I take off my mask. What do you want to be when you grow up? I asked Gigi. The biggest robber ever. I can't wait to grow up. I bet my nose will even get longer. I want to live in a cave and wear a long black... Shh! Be quiet a second, I say. From the stoop, I can hear my parents' voices through the open window in the living room. They are talking about me. Rascal's teacher called today. She says Rascal is going to need extra help with reading, I hear my mom say. I'm not surprised, says my dad, laughing. It's because she never stops talking. How can a person learn to read when they are never quiet for a single second? She's not talking to us, she's talking to herself. Seriously, says my mom, I'm concerned. Luke and Violet were reading perfectly by the time they were her age. What are we going to do with her? I look at Gigi. I don't want to cry in front of her, but I can't help it. Look at her tears. And look at Mrs. Gobble Gracker or Gigi. It's okay. I gotta go, says Gigi. Tell Mary we can play another day. There's Mary. She really liked Gigi. All night long, I looked for my socks. Upstairs in my room, after a lot of sweat and a couple of rips, I wiggle myself out of my costume. Boy, that was tight. I put on my nightgown. Without waiting for anyone to tuck me in, I crawl into bed and fall asleep. The next morning, I wake up extra early. One by one, I take my favorite books off the bookshelf. All alone in the quiet of my room, I lie on the floor with my books. As the morning light slowly shines brighter and brighter through my window, I turn the pages and look carefully at the pictures. I look at the words carefully, and some of the words I can read. Go, dog, go. The carrot seed. Harry the dirty dog. And that's the end of Chapter 6. Chapter 7 will be called Hide and Seek Tag. And of course, George is, I love you, Rascal.